You have had arguments with yourself in your head before, right? That chaotic, internal noise, the back and forth. What if you could turn that noise into a calm, structured, and profoundly insightful conversation? What if you could sit down for a metaphorical cup of tea with your anxiety or your inner critic and simply ask it what it truly needs? Most self-help will tell you to silence your inner critic, to fight it, to ignore it. Carl Jung offered a radically different path, a path of dialogue. He developed a powerful and mysterious technique to have a conscious conversation with the figures of our unconscious mind, a way to enter a waking dream where you are always in control. He called it active imagination. You might feel a little hesitant, even a bit skeptical. That is natural. But I can tell you, from decades of experience, both personal and clinical, this practice is the single fastest way to get to the heart of what your shadow truly wants. And what it wants will almost certainly surprise you. Because your inner critic is not an enemy to be silenced. It is a terrified guardian with a vital, albeit poorly delivered, message. Today, we are not going to fight it. We are going to interview it. And I will guide you safely through every step. Before we begin this sacred practice, we must first create a safe container. This is the most important step. Your conscious mind, your ego, needs to feel safe enough to relax its grip so that a deeper conversation can occur. So let's be very clear about what active imagination is and what it is not. Active imagination is a conscious dialogue. It is a form of waking dream where you, your conscious self, are an active participant. You are not losing control. You are not being possessed. You are not passively watching a movie. You are the director, the screenwriter, and the main actor all at once. This is the key difference between this and simple daydreaming. It is an active, conscious, and intentional engagement with your inner world. To ensure this engagement feels safe and productive, we will follow 3 golden rules. These are non-negotiable. The first golden rule is, you are always in control. Think of it like this: you have a pause button. At any moment, for any reason, if you feel overwhelmed or uncomfortable, you can simply open your eyes, take a deep breath, feel your feet on the floor, and you will be right back here in this present moment. You are the one who initiates the dialogue, and you are the one who can end it at any time. Knowing this is essential. It allows the deepest part of you to relax, knowing that you will not be forced into any experience you are not ready for. The second golden rule is, the goal is curiosity, not confrontation. We are not entering this inner space to fight. We are not here to win an argument with your inner critic. We are not here to defeat your anger or banish your fear. We are entering this space as a compassionate journalist, an anthropologist of the soul. Our only goal is to listen, to ask questions with a genuine desire to understand, to approach these exiled parts of you, not as enemies to be conquered, but as misunderstood figures with a story to tell. This posture of radical curiosity changes everything. It transforms a potential battlefield into a peace talk. And the third golden rule is suspend all judgment. Whatever appears in your inner world during this practice is welcome. There are no right or wrong answers. There are no good or bad images. If your anger appears as a terrifying monster, that is welcome. If your fear appears as a small crying child, that is welcome. If nothing appears at all, that is also welcome. The moment you begin to judge what is happening, you have stepped out of the role of the curious observer and back into the role of the critic. Your only job is to witness what is there with as much acceptance as you can muster. You are in control. The goal is curiosity. Suspend all judgment. These are the three pillars that create our safe container. This is the sacred space within which this deep work can unfold. Let's take Chloe, our teacher who is so hard on herself. The voice of her inner critic is relentless. It tells her she's not doing enough, that she's a fraud, that she will eventually be found out. For years, her strategy has been to fight this voice, to argue with it, to try and prove it wrong, which, as you may know from your own experience, is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It only makes the voice louder. Today, Chloe is going to try something different. She is going to use active imagination. She finds a quiet moment after school, sitting in her empty classroom. She remembers the 3 golden rules. She knows she can stop at any time. She knows her goal is just to be curious, and she promises herself she will not judge what happens. This is her first act of creating a safe container. So now, I invite you to join Chloe in preparing for this journey. Find a space where you can be undisturbed for the next 15 minutes or so. Sit in a comfortable chair with your feet flat on the floor. Have a pen and your journal nearby. You will want to write down whatever you discover as soon as we are finished. Writing it down helps to anchor the experience in the conscious world. And now, let's begin the gentle process of moving from the outer world to the inner one. I invite you to close your eyes or to simply soften your gaze. Let's take one deep, collective breath together. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling with a soft, audible sigh. Letting go of the day. Bring your awareness to the feeling of your feet on the floor. Feel the solid ground beneath you, the support of the earth. You are here. You are safe. And now bring your awareness to the feeling of your body in the chair, the weight of it, the simple fact of your own presence. And now I want you to imagine a short staircase in front of you, a staircase of 10 steps leading down. This is the staircase that leads into the quiet, inner theater of your own mind. We will walk down it together, slowly. 10. Taking the first step down. 9. Feeling a little calmer. 8. Letting the outside world begin to fade. 7. 6. Moving deeper into your own inner space. 5. Halfway there, feeling safe and supported. 4. 3. approaching the stage of your own soul. 2 and 1. You are here now, in the quiet, sacred, and limitless space within you, and you are ready for the dialogue to begin. And now, here in this quiet inner space, we will begin the dialogue. I invite you to bring to mind a part of your shadow that you wish to speak with. Do not force it. Just allow an intention to form. Perhaps it is your inner critic. Perhaps it is your anger. Perhaps it is that feeling of profound fatigue we have spoken of. Or maybe it is your fear. Choose one that feels present for you today. Just hold that intention gently in your awareness. And now, the first step. We will invite a figure to emerge. In this inner theater of your mind, gently ask this part of you to take on a form, an image, a shape, a color, a sound. Again, do not force it. Do not try to invent it with your logical mind. Simply wait with open curiosity and see what appears on the stage. It could be a person, an animal, a mythical creature, or just an abstract shape. Trust the very first image that comes to you, no matter how strange it may seem. Now, for the second step, observe with neutrality. Just look at this figure that has appeared. Take a moment to notice its details as a compassionate observer. What does it look like? What energy does it carry? Is it large or small? Is it close to you or far away? Is it moving or is it still? What is its posture, its expression? Remember the golden rule: no judgment. You are simply gathering data. You are meeting this part of you, perhaps for the very first time. Just be with it for a moment, acknowledging its presence. And now we move to the heart of the practice. The third step. We will ask the first compassionate question. Holding this figure in your mind's eye, I invite you to silently and respectfully ask it this question: what is your purpose in my life? Again, what is your purpose in my life? And now you listen. You listen with your whole being. Listen for the first word, the first image, or the first feeling that arises in response. Do not edit it. Do not analyze it. Do not doubt it. Trust the very first thing that comes. This is the voice of your unconscious. Perhaps your inner critic, which may have appeared as a harsh, judgmental figure, answers with a surprising word: to protect you, or to keep you from failing. Perhaps your anger, the fierce guardian, answers with to guard your boundaries, or to give you strength. Whatever the answer is, just receive it. This is its perceived job, its intention. Let's imagine Chloe is doing this practice. She has invited her inner critic to emerge, and it appears as an old, severe school teacher with a stern face and a long ruler. Chloe feels a familiar sense of fear and shame, but she remembers the rules. She stays in the role of the curious observer. She asks, "What is your purpose in my life?" And she listens. The first words that come into her mind in the schoolteacher's voice are, "To make sure you are never, ever humiliated again. Chloe is stunned. She expected it to say, to punish you or to tell you you're worthless. But this is different. This is a protective impulse, however misguided. A new feeling begins to dawn within her. Not fear, but compassion. And this leads us to the fourth step, the second, deeper question. This is the most important question you will ever ask your shadow. Holding this figure and its stated purpose in your awareness, I invite you to ask this next question with even more tenderness. What do you truly need from me? Again, what do you truly need from me? And now you listen. You listen with your whole being. This question moves beyond the figure's job and goes to its core wound, its core longing. Listen for the first answer that arises. Trust it completely. Perhaps your inner critic, the harsh protector, answers with a quiet, almost inaudible whisper. To be told that I am good enough. Or to be allowed to rest. Perhaps your anger, the fierce guardian, answers with to be heard. Or to be respected. This is the raw, vulnerable truth that has been living beneath the surface of the symptom. Chloe, in her inner classroom, looks at the severe schoolteacher, and she feels a wave of compassion for this part of her. And she asks, with genuine tenderness, "What do you truly need from me?" And she listens, and the stern face of the schoolteacher seems to crumble just for a second, and a new voice, the voice of a small, frightened child, comes from it. And it says, "I need you to tell me that it's okay to make a mistake." And in that moment, everything changes. Chloe is no longer at war with her inner critic. She understands it. She understands its fear, its pain, and its deepest unmet need. She has moved from confrontation to connection. And that is the beginning of all integration. That is the beginning of coming home.
And now, before we leave this sacred inner space, there is one final crucial step we must take. It is an act of respect, an act of closure, and an act that begins to build a bridge of trust between your conscious self and your unconscious. I invite you now to turn your awareness back to the figure you have been speaking with, the figure of your shadow, and I want you to simply thank it. Silently, from your heart, offer it a word of gratitude. Thank you for appearing. Thank you for sharing your message with me. Thank you for your wisdom. And then gently let it know that this dialogue is now complete. For today, tell it, "I have heard you." This is not a dismissal. It is an acknowledgement. You are signaling that the conversation has been received, that its voice mattered. This simple act of thanking the figure begins to repair the relationship with this exiled part of yourself. It replaces a lifetime of ignoring it with a moment of profound respect. And now, it is time to gently return. We will walk back up the staircase of your awareness, slowly, consciously, bringing the wisdom you have gained with you. 1. Beginning the journey back to the room. 2. Feeling a sense of gratitude for this inner space. 3. Becoming more aware of the chair beneath you, the air on your skin. 4. 5. Halfway there, feeling calm, centered, and clear. 6. Beginning to hear the sounds of the outside world again. 7. 8. Gently moving your fingers and your toes. 9. Taking a slow, deep breath, feeling the life in your body. And 10. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Take a moment. Do not rush to analyze. Just be. And now, I invite you to pick up your pen and your journal. Before your analytical mind has a chance to edit or dismiss the experience, write down what happened. What figure appeared? What was its answer to the first question, what is your purpose? And what was its answer to the most important question, what do you truly need from me? Write down the exact words, images, or feelings that came to you. This is your data, your sacred personal data from the depths of your own soul. This is the essence of this powerful form of shadow work. As Carl Jung's closest student, Marie-Louise von Franz, explained, the goal of active imagination is to create a transcendent function, a bridge, a living, breathing connection between the conscious and the unconscious. What you have done today is you have walked across that bridge for the first time. You have brought a message from the unconscious world into the conscious one. So let's look at Chloe's journal entry. The figure, a stern old school teacher. Its purpose? To make sure you are never, ever humiliated again. Its need? I need you to tell me that it's okay to make a mistake. What does this tell Chloe? It tells her that her harsh inner critic is not an enemy. It is a terrified, traumatized part of her, a part that was likely created after a childhood experience of deep humiliation for making a mistake. Its entire strategy of harsh perfectionism is a misguided attempt to protect her from ever feeling that pain again. It is not trying to hurt her. It is trying to love her in the only way it knows. This insight alone is life-changing. It can melt a lifetime of internal warfare into a single moment of profound self-compassion. But insight is not enough. The final, crucial step is integration. How do we honor the message we have received? How do we begin to meet the need of this exiled part of ourselves? The answer, as always, is with a small, gentle, micro-action. So now I invite you to look at the need you wrote down, the need of your shadow figure. And you ask yourself one final question. What is one small, compassionate action I can take this week to begin to meet this need? For Chloe, her inner critic's need was to be told it's okay to make a mistake. What is a micro-action she could take? Perhaps this week, when she is writing a lesson plan, she could intentionally leave one small, unimportant typo in it and consciously choose not to fix it. A tiny, private act of defiance against her own perfectionism. A way of telling that inner school teacher, see, we made a mistake, and the world didn't end. We are safe. Perhaps your anger told you that it needs to be heard. Your micro-action might be to write one honest, unsent letter in your journal, allowing your anger to have a voice just for you. Perhaps your fatigue told you that it needs rest. Your micro-action might be to schedule one 10-minute sacred do-nothing appointment with yourself and to honor it as if it were a meeting with a queen. This is how the work becomes real. This is how the dialogue becomes a dance. You listen to the need and you honor it with a small, conscious act of love. You are not just a journalist of your soul anymore. You are becoming its trusted partner, its loving parent, and its most devoted friend.
Today, you have done something extraordinary. You have stepped beyond the realm of theory and into the living heart of your own psyche. You have participated in a practice that Carl Jung considered to be one of the cornerstones of his entire body of work. You have had a direct dialogue with your shadow. We learned how to create a sacred, safe container for this work by remembering that you are always in control, by holding an intention of curiosity, not confrontation, and by suspending all judgment. Within that safe space, you bravely invited a part of your exiled self to emerge. You witnessed it without flinching, and you asked it the two most powerful, compassionate questions in all of shadow work. What is your purpose in my life? And what do you truly need from me? What you likely discovered is a profound truth, that the figures you fear most within you are not monsters. They are often wounded children, misguided protectors operating on outdated software, doing the very best they can to keep you safe. This understanding is the beginning of the end of the internal war. It is the foundation of self-compassion. As we learned, the great Jungian scholar Edward Edinger stated that the aim of this work is to build a strong ego-self axis, a bridge between who you think you are and the vast, wise wholeness of who you truly are. The practice of active imagination is the most direct way to build that bridge. Each dialogue is another stone laid, another connection fortified. So I invite you to honor the journey you have taken today. Honor the message you received, and honor it with one small, compassionate micro-action this week. This is how insight becomes integration. This is how a conversation becomes a change. This deep, direct dialogue is a powerful tool for profound transformation. But it is like a deep-sea dive. It requires time, space, and preparation. So how do we keep this conversation going in the busyness of our everyday lives? How do we turn this occasional deep dive into a consistent daily practice of listening? The answer lies in the sacred art of journaling, when it is armed with the right questions. What are the keys that unlock the deepest rooms of the psyche? What are the prompts that move beyond simply venting and into true psychological excavation? That is the practical toolkit we will assemble in our next conversation, as we explore 20 deeper shadow work prompts for your journal. For today, this work was deep and profoundly personal, and so the invitation is a gentle one. Instead of sharing the details of your experience, which are sacred and belong only to you, I invite you to join a community of fellow explorers by sharing just one word in the comments below. One word that describes how you feel right now after this practice. Perhaps the word is surprised. Perhaps it is relieved. Perhaps it is moved, or hopeful, or even confused. All of it is welcome. By sharing your one word, you witness your own journey, and you create a safe space for others to witness theirs. Thank you for your immense courage. The dialogue has just begun.